Professor Dan Ariely, in his book Predictably Irrational, gives a tremendous insight into the human condition and sheds light in this week's parsha. The famous Israeli MIT professor brings a piece of research which changed the way financial institutions work. You see, the federal regulators in the United States found in the early 90s that the average CEO, chief executive of companies, was earning 130 times more than the average worker. This is unconscionable, they said. We've got to be more socially conscious. How can we bridge that gap? They came up with a suggestion. Let's publicize to the world in the newspapers what CEOs of public companies are earning. Because if everybody knows what they're earning, the boards will be under pressure, they will bring the salaries down of the average workers up, and it'll be a more socially conscious society. Guess what happened? A number of years later, in the mid-90s, they looked at the results. Not only had the CEOs' salaries not come down, but they had grown to not 130 times more than the average worker, they had grown threefold, 400 times more than the average worker. What went wrong? What went wrong is the principle of comparison at the heart of jealousy. You see, the regulators forgot to consider that other CEOs were also reading what their fellow CEOs were earning, and it made them jealous. People who were very happy with their salary on Sunday, reading the Sunday newspaper that their friends who they knew they were at school with, managing a similar amount of people in similar type companies, are earning so much more than them. They went to their boards and said, "You want to keep me here? Pay me more." And therefore the salaries went up threefold so that companies could keep their own CEOs. One of the most destructive forces in the world is jealousy. It's where we unleash the principle of comparison. Yesterday we were happy, but once we just have one piece of knowledge what somebody else like us is earning, and it might be $10,000 a year more, we were happy yesterday, today we are unhappy, we are discontent, we are not happy with what we are earning. That is exactly the story in this week's parsha. What was at the root of Korach's rebellion, the horrific rebellion which caused the death of so many important people? Says Rashi, quoting the Midrash Tanchuma, his jealousy was that of Elitzaphan ben Uziel, a younger, less prominent person than him in his family, who became the Nasi of the Kahat family. I should be, said Korach, at the very least the head, the Nasi of the Kahat family, at the very least. And since he wasn't, he could not get over the fact that Elitzaphan was appointed, and hence he unleashed this incredible rebellion. But at the root of it was one thing, one individual's inability to come to terms with his station in life. May we all, as we move forward in our own lives, realize that everything else that others have is what Hashem has given them. No need to unleash the principle of comparison, which brings so much discontent, creates a sense of jealousy, and actually literally can destroy lives. May we be content with what we have, because ultimately what we have is what Hashem has given us. Shabbat Shalom.